Hey, welcome back to Warroid Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's currently July what is it, 16th? Yeah, and we're in a casual lobby of JNAP playing against Big Unit. And we are playing a deck that actually we didn't build ourselves. We're definitely gonna mulligan this hand. It's pretty crap. That's a bunch better. Best of luck, have fun. So I put out a video last week about playing an EtF deck and engineering the future deck that runs Warroid Tracker. And saetzero, a person who just wanted to reach Philly regionals this year, they posted a comment saying, "Hey, I've been playing a Warroid Tracker EtF deck, and it looks like this," and they shared it with us, and it's so much fun. Having a lot of fun with this. It works off Warroid Tracker, Mumbed Virtual Tour, and has Ash in it, which our old deck didn't, but it also runs Rutherford Grid, which is kind of a wacky card to splash. It makes the traces on your Warroids and your Ashes bigger, but then we're also running a lot of Tracing Ice, and it's been so much fun. We're playing against Andy. So Tracing is not the best because she has a link, but we definitely want to put an ice on each server, just so that it's... just so that they can't Tamooch in turn 1. Admittedly, we can't res everything in theory, but at least this is something. So what's best to get on HQ? I don't want them to click through an Eli to siphon us, so let's put this on HQ. We can always pump our money into the trace if they siphon us. It's a shame that we won't play our hedge fund, but this hopefully will make them not unable to run this turn. And they might have to respect things like Architect or Fairchild, stuff like that. Cash, ooh, alright. It's an interesting card in Andromeda. Might mean they're playing Rosetta 2.0 and Snitch, just like I said. So this is probably some sort of... Oh, let's see what they're getting at that. Au revoir. Okay. Alright. So they're running Snitch and Au revoir, so they can always run into an ice, jack out, and they discard Employee Strike. Maybe they have another one. But jack out and gain a credit. So this can be very obnoxious. If we have ways to res our own ice, it's actually really good for us. We don't have that many ways to res our own ice. We only have accelerated beta test, but that'll do something. Alright, so I think we definitely need a hedge fund out. We want to install a card. Installing this in a naked remote is not the best because they can get Temujin value. So, actually, maybe we just... No, let's do it. And the next turn we put the Maryland behind it. Hopefully that's the best we got. So they're going to see it's a Turing, and then they'll jack out and make a credit. Which, they can just do that over and over again. Find out what everything is, and then figure out what they need to count siphon. So I think one of the best things we actually could have done is put another piece of ice in front of HQ, so they know what they need to... they don't know what they need to count siphon entirely, and that's good. And the Rutherford is going to be okay, but I think we definitely want to draw. We could score that out, but they can always click through this and they know it. So we'll put this in server 1 and then play some money. Even if we overwrite this, it's not so bad. There's a chance that they might try and click through the Turing, but with 0 credits, it seems pretty rough. Actually, there's a chance we might have been able to get out the accelerated beta test, and that card is super good to score out. We are not running Biotic Labor, so we're actually having to do it the old-fashioned way. Oh, MU is not improperly implemented with this editor. But now they can click for 2 credits. They have a Magnum Opus that tells them what ice is, which is really good. They're going to throw out a couple cards here, but we got to go fast. I still think we res this. Discarding Career Friend, another Employee Strike. Okay. So let's get an Ash. This now they can't get into the server, so I think we can actually replace this, install Advance on this bad boy. With 2 credits, there's not much they can do. Like, they can always replace their Snitch to get out of their Breaker, but they can't click through all of this stuff. So I think we'll go for it. Server 1, Advance. Yeah, we'll shuffle that back in, because we want to fire this, because we need to get res dice. We're not going to be able to get res dice on every server, which is really important for Snitch. I mean, for Au revoir Snitch. But if we get some res dice, it's going to be a bit easier. I don't know how much ice we're running. They're just going to keep jacking out, Magnum Opusing up. So we'll definitely score this. It'll put us on 2 points. They know it's a Fairchild. They know it's a Turing. So they know exactly what they need. If they have Cyber Cipher, it's a really good server for it. And they're running Daredevil. So this is the combo here. Daredevil lets them draw 2 cards because they run on the server. First time you initiate a run on the server, yeah, draw 2 cards. Oh, but they already did that once earlier in their turn, so they don't get value from it. So we're still going to score this out. I think we'll fire it because even if they run Archives to get our ice res, it's good for us. So we'll fire this. And it's a full whiff. I have no regrets. Say goodbye. We can put something into the server. We're a bit short in credits. Actually, getting this down if they hit it will be really good for us, but they can only hit it when they have 5 credits. Otherwise, it's not going to do anything. I still think we'll do it, and hopefully they hit this later. I think they'll probably check it once they have 5 credits. Maybe it's an Eve campaign. I don't know, but they hit this. Okay, no good. Fuck, they'll check the first click. I thought they would get 2 cards first. So definitely not going to trash that. Which is cool, because now we can put things on top of it. We can put, what's it called on top of it? We can put most thing on top of it, any of the campaigns. Oh, wait, exposes Eli. No, we'll definitely, sorry. Oops. We'll definitely res this. It gives one less server that they can bounce off on. And they know it's an Eli. So the access NAPD can't steal it. That's really good for us. So they're going to go back for that. It's technically not great that we put more ice on the server, but they really don't have any way to contest this remote. So I think we're actually going to just go and score out. So we'll put this in server 1, advance, gain a credit. We're a bit short on credits, so like if they do replace their snitch with like a passport and then just siphon us, maybe an Abigail, it will go through. So now they get the Daredevil card draw. And they can jack out here. I think they might want to make us res everything. Because they know this server costs 10 credits. They don't know what this ice is though. So there's a chance they'll just click through this and keep going so that we spend 10 credits. I don't think it's that terrible. Oh, continue to run. Okay. So they have to click through that, which is good. Because now we don't have to res this and we don't have to res this because they don't have the credits to steal it. So double NAPD hit. Really, really good. For what it's worth, also, we can install advanced NAPD on here. And they'd have to... Oh, yeah, it's not that great. But we just sapped an entire turn from them. We got an ice res on the outside, which is really good. So they can no longer run this server for Daredevil. We've kind of turned that off, which is really cool. I don't think, actually, we need to advance this and score it. We can put Jackson behind Mumbet Virtual Tour. It's not fantastic. They can always just run this and trash this first when they have less than 5 credits. But if they have less than 5 credits, it's pretty good for us. So I don't know what we're looking for now. I think we're looking for money. So let's put this in a new remote and draw. Hopefully we can get a money card on top of here. Yeah, Adonis and server 2 is perfect. And we can res this. And then they have to run it when they have less than 5 credits. Oh, no, this is perfect too. Right? Because it just makes sure that they have less credits when they run this. So it's going to keep their money down, which is really good for us. And they're actually going down to 0. It makes sense when they have this whole combo. And now they can just keep jacking out and getting the credits. And it's magnum opus, but they're not putting a lot of pressure on us. And they're just clicking up, which is fine. And we have Warroid Tracker, which is really cool. They now can no longer contest this remote. If we have to score, I don't even think we have to, like they'd have to go through this first click unless they're going to pull out a breaker by snapping at the snitch. But the Warroid Tracker on here is really good because no matter, yeah, I think it's actually really good because that's what happens. It's either they trash this, and if they don't trash this, they have to access the other card. So they have to access this one less than 4. I think altogether this is actually really okay. What are we going to do for the rest of our turn? I think we want to draw. Oh, that's really good. So we can put also Warroid and Ash together are really good. We want to install 1 card for sure, so I think we'll put the Ash on server 1, just so it's a bit harder to get to. And now we can put Rutherford Grid on top of it to make the traces stronger, which is very, very cool. And we can put the Warroid Tracker on top of it as well, so they can no longer trash the Ash. I also kind of want to put the Warroid, though, in server 2, just because if they hit it, one of these is going to fire. And if we hit Trace 4, they have to trash 2 of their installed cards. And I think they would trash Rosetta, probably in Daredevil. So I don't know where to put this. I'll try this in server 2. Hopefully they hit it. Because if they don't trash this, they'll have 5 credits and they have to trash the other one. But if we res Warroid, it's going to be bad no matter what. So at least we'll give them a choice on what they hit first. That's another snitch. So that's the last Au Revoir. So now they have their Super Magnum Opus engine, so we're going to have to go. We're just going to have to rush them out. So they're running Jackson here. I think we'll use it just because the NAPD is in there, so we'll definitely use it. So that's going to go back in. We don't have friends in high places, so Jackson's going to go back in, and then some more money is always good. Now they have 6 credits, and that's okay. And that's another Warroid, which is fantastic. So if we score this, we go down to, I don't think we need to score this. Let's just advance this, put another card in server 1, and click for credit. This sort of deck that runs an absurd amount of money might be running Vamp, and that's really scary for us. And they're just going to click for 3 every turn. They're probably running Turning Wheel as well. It's really good that we turned off their Daredevil, because now they have to click to draw. They're just checking what all the ice is. Maybe they're running D-Res effects as well. They could, in theory, D-Res the Fairchild and go back, but it looks like they're just clicking for 3, getting some money. Cool. So now we can advance, and score this. We don't want to put another ice on any of the centrals, unfortunately, because it turns on Daredevil, and we want to play around that. So let's just put this in Rutherford into server 1, so we get the install credit for our ability, which is good, and now this becomes Warroid Tracker Trace 6, Ash Trace 6, and that's obviously pretty great. They also don't have that much. Oh, I guess they have 2 more MEU. So I don't know what breakers they're possibly going to use. And we just have to find a global food, install advance, and I think we might have it. As long as we have more money than them. There's the Abagnale. So now they can break through this Turing. It's only going to cost them 5 credits, which is a lot. They could go account siphon now through the Viper, which is okay too. We can't really duck a lot of it. We can duck actually most of it. So let's see if they siphon us. Siphon last click's probably bad. Oh, now they're running into the Daredevil. Oh, awesome. Okay, so that's 3. So we got to think this out. So this is going to be a trace 6. So if they want to access, not much is going to happen. They can't really afford to trash any of this stuff. So we don't actually have to res the Turing here. If we res the Turing here, we go down to 4 credits, which isn't great. But I reckon they'll actually probably break it. And then when they're on 2 credits, they can't even trash any of this stuff, which is really good for us. So let's see. They also could use their Abagnale to like bypass it, or like, is that the word they use? Yeah, bypass. And that might be bad for us, but this is actually important. They know what this ice is, by the way. So if they break through this, we still have enough money to res everything. Yeah, it's fine. We might be going down to 0 credits here, which sucks. Alright, they're in. So we actually don't have to res anything here, because they only have 1 credits and they can't actually trash any of this stuff. Now they know it's in the server though, which is bad. Luckily we still keep our 4 credits, so even if we draw into a hedge fund, which is actually pretty unlikely considering there's 2 in the bin, we have some money. And they're going to access everything, can't deal with it. They know what they need into this, but like the credit differential is so high now, if we install advanced agenda, we're going to score it. They throw out a feedback filter. Alright, agendas are really important, so let's go find them. Oh, we actually should have put the Jackson on this server. That's fine, we'll put money on this server. And this is good because we put it in server 1. It's actually really hard for them to get into it. The money's also really good too. I think we'll actually go for the money. They could run HQ right now, but they don't have a lot of money, and as soon as they res this, they only have 1 server to go on. And so that's kind of dodgy for them. But the question here is whether we put the accelerated beta test. I don't actually really want to score the accelerated beta test that bad. It's good to get res dice, especially when we have a Jackson on the table. But I think we need the money more than anything, just because we're going to win on the trace. And this doesn't help us win unless we score another 3-2, which isn't impossible. This is actually an interesting idea. I don't know what we do here. Let's try this in server 2, because if they run it, it's good for us, because all this like nasty stuff fires. If they run Councilman also, it's going to be really bad, and we're not respecting that. We just don't have the credits to proactively res all this stuff. They're also running Employee Strike, so it's less likely that they're running Rimmer Mill, which is good for us. But they can still click for 3 credits, so... Alright, so they're accessing with 4 credits. So... We're going to res the Warroid Tracker here, so no matter what, it's going to be a trace that they have to spend money into. And they have to generally trash the Warroid Tracker first. But they're doing this perfectly. They're accessing with less than 5 credits, but they know what this card is, so they can choose the order. And if this fires, we can make a trace, and they have to trash 2 of their installed cards. I imagine they'll probably trash a Rosetta. And so our money stays, not like we can res it, though. We wasted a click, though. Yay, and there's the turning wheel, so they're going to build up turning wheel counters, so they're going to make a big run on R&D or see all of HQ. So no matter what, we need to get this into the server, because this server is relatively safe. Relatively. Oh, Maryland campaign's really good. So that's one. That's a new remote. We can just click for a credit. We might not actually have had to install that. Maybe clicking for another credit is good, because they can siphon us, but even if they siphon us, they still need to run the server and have 6 for the trace, which is a lot. We have no way to deal with this though, and this is eventually going to see all of R&D if we can't like rush out. So this is kind of what their game plan is. It's not very interactive, but oh, they're continuing the run, so they're going to access maybe all of HQ. We're definitely not going to res that. I hope they use their turning wheel counters here. Yeah, good, they did. Cool. So they can see a lot of HQ, which is good. We also now have the beta test and the Jackson on the table, and they see mostly ice, Assassin Architect Saetzero. So if we res this, we go down to 4 credits. Still think it's worth it. Throw a cute coherence chip, interesting. So we'll res all this stuff. Actually, resing some of this stuff might be a mistake. Oh, we should have res... Yeah, we should have resed this one. Maybe not. Okay, well, we're going to start with 4 credits. We can advance, and we'll definitely fire because we have a Jackson on the table. Score. Look at top 3 cards of R&D, and that is pretty bad. So where do we want this? I think we want it on R&D. Again, they can't really get value. They'll have to actually pay for it if they Daredevil in, but HQ's looking pretty safe here, so we'll put this on R&D. We can't really be siphoned because we don't have money, and I think we'll go ahead and... I don't even think we need to use the Jackson Howard. What's the chance they play Rumor Mill? If they do, we'll look dumb. But they gotta deal with this, and so they'll have to also pay for the Trace, which is good. And if they have too much money for this, they'll have to hit the Virtual Tour, which is good. So this goes back, and I think we can't really get the Adonis out. We have to go fast enough, so we'll just pull back the Operation Economy. Because Adonis in the server is not going to be good. We have to go way faster than that. We're also on game point, so every single face down card we put in server 1, they have to check. They really did. So putting a Mumbed Virtual Tour in there is going to be good. And Femme is probably on the Fairchild. That's a Femme Fatale, the Altart. Oh, my face is blocking the chat. Oh, it's actually on here. So cool. It's about what we're going to tax them out anyways. So 2 credits. They know it's an Eli we can't res, so they can just get an access. They could jack it if they wanted to get 3 credits. It's not terrible either. So they're just continuing the run. That's cool. It's up to them. And we can now res our Maryland campaign. It gives us a 1 less way to dodge an account siphon. And they're going to see some cards. Okay, so they sell the top 2. Alright, let's res our Maryland. So they're going to start a turn with 5 credits, which is good. And they know we have a virtual tour for sure, but in theory, we can later put this in server 1 and make them run into it. It's not going to be great. I don't actually think they're going to access this because they'll spend all their money on the Ash and all this, so this might not entirely work. Again, don't want to put another ice here. We are a bit weak to count siphon, but we always have 4 credits worth of stuff to dodge. So let's draw. We need to find an agenda, just put it in here. That's no good. Ash is unique, but let's just put this in server 1 for now. Get our credit. So what do we want to throw at? Assassin is actually relatively expensive for them to break, so we can keep that. This is also 4 credits to break. They haven't shown a barrier, so there's value in this, and I think the Viper they can always pay through. They'll always have a lot more money. So maybe actually the Assassin's not great, and the Viper's at least almost the same amount of tax, but for less money on our side. And we've actually done okay. Like, there's only 1 piece of ice. Eventually, if we get a res piece of ice on HQ, it's going to make their engine so much harder to use. So again, if we do fire the next Accelerate beta test, we largely win, but that's something. And we can res this Fairchild. I think actually we should, because we're still gonna get 5 credits. And now this is actually really expensive for them. They're gonna go see the top. I take it they're gonna see the top 5 cards, and they're just gonna lock us out of the game. So it's good that this is actually kind of taxing. Putting the Ash on R&D is also relatively good. So they're gonna see a lot of cards here. They do have enough money to hit NAPD, which they just did. Now they don't have enough money to hit a second NAPD. So if we get a second NAPD, we're actually good. And they throw out another turning wheel. It's a really oppressive combo once it's up. Daredevil did well with this. Warroid Tracker Ash together is really sweet. We need to find that agenda. Friends. Oh, okay. So Ash and R&D is really good, and then we can put a Warroid on there too, which is great because now they can no longer trash the Ash without doing a super trace. So we'll put that on there too. If they trash it, we just bring it back with friends. And this server is also really good. We just need to find a bit more money. Or, no, we just need to find an agenda largely. I think they've given up on this stuff. Man, there's a lot of cards in the server. If our Accelerate beta tests were a bit better and we got another res piece of ice here, they can't really do their engine anymore, and we would have been so good. So I'm glad we got to fire 2 of those. Unfortunately, one of them did whiff entirely. So let's see. No matter what, this server is expensive. Like, you always trash your Ebbing Nail here, but this is 2 credits. This is, what? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then they have to do an Ash trace, and then if they trash it, a Warroid Tracker trace, which is really good. But they're still going to be clicking for 3, so it's kind of hard. And this is always going to be annoying. So we have to basically draw into our agenda and throw it in there before they can go here. This Ash might do well for us. Let's see. Also, when they run this, they draw 2 cards. And if they do that the last click, it's not particularly good for them because they'll have to throw stuff out. It's not bad, but it's not like amazing. They also now know most of the cards in HQ. Like, they saw a lot of them. Okay. So that's 2 for this. This is 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4. Oh, it's only 7, never mind. So this is good. We don't actually have to, they have only 2 credits, so we don't actually have to res the Warroid Tracker. We'll just res the Ash, and then they can't break it, which is really good. So they just wasted a lot of time. They will get another turning wheel token for sure, though. We actually should have waited to res the Ash. Oh no, it's complicated, because you can not res the Ash until after they use the turning wheel tokens. But if they don't use the turning wheel tokens, we actually should have waited for them to use the turning wheel tokens. I think that's a goof. Boost Tray stinks, so they have 4 altogether, so 0. Yeah, we should have waited for them to use these. And we wasted a lot of their turn. They did build turning wheel tokens, though, which is incredibly dangerous. So we need to draw into an agenda. We can always install over this to shuffle R&D if they do R&D lock us, which is really cool. And that's a global food, which I think we can actually secure here. So we'll do server 1, advance, advance. It's going to be difficult. This is a trace 6 they have to beat. Even if they do beat this trace, though, it might rip up a part of their board and we're good with that. Like, most of these cards they need. The Snitch is necessary to the play. They'll probably get rid of the Rosetta, but all these other cards, I think they'll have to get rid of 2 of these. So let's see how this goes. And that one luckily did sneak through, so they can make a lot of money. But this server, I think they'll actually might use their Abigail on this server because they understand that money is going to matter. They got 1 run on this server. Also, this could, in theory, be an NAPD contract, and they'd have to play around that. Like, a double advance on NAPD is really good because they might not expect it. So that's 4, 5. They could trash cards. There you go. That's a Rosetta. Could trash another card or lose 3 credits. You might as well trash a card. They trashed the Fem. Fantastic. And so this, they're probably just going to Abigail through, and I think we won the game. Oh, no. Yeah, I think we have enough here for the trace. So here they can Abigail it through, either paying, which then they won't have enough money for Ash, or just bypassing it. So I think they just don't have enough money for this. So, before they access, we can res Ash, which will be a trace 6 with the Rutherford Grid. Oh, we have to trash this Ash, of course. It's unique. So we res this Ash, then we have to res the Rutherford Grid. So now it's trace 6, and we have enough money. We're going to get 2 off of this. We don't actually have to res the Warroid Tracker because we're going to win next turn anyways. So no more action. So it's a base trace 6, and they have 7, so we make this trace 2. They can only access the Ash. We could be vindictive and also res the Warroid Tracker, so if they trash the Ash, but there's no point, because we're going to win next turn. And that's it. 7 tokens on here, not going to matter so much. And they throw out a film critic, and that is the game. 2 credits from here too, which is good. They say GG. Let's see what comes up at the top. Ooh, an NAPD. So shuffle back in. Advance. Advance. Score. Advance, right. Score. Good game. Alright, and that's what this deck does. And a lot of these upgrades are really interesting together. Rutherford Grid is cool. Just giving us 2 more for Warroid Tracker and Ash is cool because it's like multiplicative. If you have more of those cards, the value of this gets better. It's also cool because it helps with ice on the server. So if people are trying to trace through the Viper, trace through the Assassin, stuff like that, it does get a bunch better. I think we could put a bit more traces in this deck and it might be cool. There is that Sentry in the HB Sentry that traces. It's called Sagittarius and nobody plays that one. That would actually be interesting too. Maybe I want to play that over Assassin. I'm not sure. Maybe. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. This is a really cool deck. Thanks saetzero for throwing this in the comments. I very much appreciate it. Stay tuned. We got more videos coming out this week. We'll probably have more content out this week that we did last week and the week before. Otherwise, Thursday, 8:45 Eastern, we're live streaming. Hopefully you drop by. Ciao.